Hey guys, MC Stu here, and today we're gonna cover something that I think we can all agree on, and that is gonna be the understatement of the year, that the server performance since last week's update has been terrible in Star Trek Online. So we've been dealing with problems from rubber banding to loadouts not saving, missions that don't complete, you can't progress through. It's been a pretty rough week. They did fix the missions early on, so that was good. That was addressed right away. But the other persistent issues, I think, have been even a bigger problem, not just for them to solve, but for us to deal with as players. I know if you're, trying to make videos or just, trying to have fun in runs, especially if you're doing high performance stuff and you're rubber banding all over the place, it's unplayable and it's kind of a nightmare. So I know a lot of people have been just waiting to see what happens. If this is going to get fixed soon, and it looks like they are making a pretty serious effort here to get it taken care of. We'll wait and see if that actually solves the problem. But let's start with a Twitter post that Cryptic Studios put out. This was yesterday. On what was yesterday? Wednesday. So this morning, the 18th at 5 a.m. Pacific time, they shut down the servers for 4.5 hours on console and 5.5 hours on PC to do what they call maintenance. That is something I don't know that I've seen from them. Generally, what'll happen is you'll have a patch that comes out like the one tomorrow. It'll be shut down for an hour or two, and it's accompanied by patch notes and all the updates that they're doing. This was not the case. And they state here plainly, there are no patch notes. So I'm assuming that they were deep diving in. I don't have any inside information on that, but based on the fact that they were closed down for so long, without any kind of specifics, it sounds like they shut down the game to get in deep, I'm assuming, and hopefully find some of these problems and take care of them. So this afternoon, they released the weekly patch notes, and this isn't something I would normally cover. They do this every week, but it caught my attention because it's pretty big, and it's not like we're up, we're adding content or there's an event starting and it breaks down all the different changes that are coming with that event. These are all fixes to problems and some updates as well. So there's kind of some positive, stuff in terms of, some new things that they've done. But a lot of it is fixes to problems. And I'm not here to poop on the game. I mean, that's for everybody else to decide. I mean, me personally, I'm not happy with the way the performance has been. But it's out of my control. So I'm not going to sit here and complain or, like I said, poop on these guys. But I do wish that there was, a little more effort put in on the QA side and that we didn't have to deal with these kinds of things. But it is what it is. There's no other Star Trek games, no other MMO Star Trek games that even come close to this. So if you want to play Star Trek, then you're here with Star Trek Online. I'm not going to go through all these bullet points, just kind of a couple things here. So they had covered the first one as a known issue before. If you're still running Windows 98, I'm not sure why you would be, or not 98, Windows 8, might as well be Windows 98, right? There was a problem with starting the game, from the client starting the game if you're on that system. That's been resolved. They resolved issues with small craft officers being in the right place. There's a lot of just kind of little stuff. Some of the main things here are traits not saving and loadouts. And unslotting, when you change maps, if they're unsaved changes. So when you set up a ship and the loadout and the traits and all those things, it should save regardless of whether or not you save the loadout. The loadout is meant to be there so if you want to run a couple different configurations for the ship, you can switch between those configurations. It's not something where you set your ship up and you're like, crap, I forgot to save it, and it's all just going to go to hell. That's not the intention of that system. It's designed so you can save a bunch of different flavors of builds on a particular ship. And so that was not happening. Whether you saved it or didn't save it, things were being unslotted. So they said that they've addressed the issue in terms of the traits. on the loadouts unslotting. So that's good. That's great news for me. I change not just ships, but also loadouts on particular ships pretty much every time I play because of the way I play the game. I play in teams, a lot of times organized kind of runs, and I play different roles. And a lot of times those are on the same characters and even in some cases on the same ship. And so I'm constantly changing the stuff around. So it's been terrible for me in terms of, the loadout problems. So they fixed another problem with the loadout. So resolved an issue causing loadouts to not properly save device stacks. Now, this has been a problem for a long time, and it's one of those ones where it's like, I can deal with it. It's really annoying, but once the other problems with the loadout started, I was like praying that, we could just have this one problem back because it was so much less. But if this is actually fixed, this is going to be one of those just huge minor annoyances, oxymoron, that if they fix that's awesome. And basically what happens is say you're in space and you put a stack of 20 batteries, you load into a TFO or into a mission, and you only have one now. Or none. Most of the time for me, whenever I change maps, it just puts everything back in my inventory except for one. And so at least from that standpoint, it would save in the loadout when the loadouts were working. So they say they've resolved that, so that is awesome. And if this stuff all happens tomorrow with these patches, I will sing their praises for fixing this stuff. I know we can complain about how long it took and all this kind of thing, and that's legitimate, but for me, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. So if they're fixing it, I'm happy. Okay, moving along. There are some problems with crashing, swapping between EV suits and armor. I hadn't seen any of that. Resolve some issues preventing upgrade action. Okay, a few items. Don't care. There's a lot of little stuff in here that are kind of one-time things. If you play a particular thing, then you're going to run into that, and it's going to matter more for you. I'll link this in the description if you want to read through this in more detail. There was an issue causing some consoles to only allow you to equip one of them instead of, this one and this one. They resolved that issue. Again, not high up on my priority list. Removed an issue that was preventing the space trait, and I'm not even going to try and sound that out because it's late, from properly activating when dealing kinetic damage. So it's just something that just wasn't working properly, this particular trait. They fixed that. Let's kind of skim through this some more here because, like I said, I'm not going to just go and read through all of it. This was kind of a surprise here, which was kind of cool. A lot of the maps that I play are Borg maps, and it says that the Borg spheres and Borg cubes have been totally remastered with new models and materials. And that's really, really cool. We see those quite a bit in random TFOs and in selected ones. Some of the more popular ones are with Borg TFOs, and obviously there's quite a bit of Borg represented through the story missions, especially early on going through the campaign modes. So I'm pretty pumped to see how those look. That'll be pretty cool. And I'm sure with all the other stuff in terms of, graphics, skins, redoing the models on ships, they're just, knocking it out of the park, and it's been looking really good. So I got high hopes for the upgrade. I didn't think that they looked bad before, but hey, if they can make them look better, great. That's awesome. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Resolving issues, sometimes preventing, okay, whatever. Yeah, so the rest of this stuff for me is kind of lower, lower on the value list, although some of it's important. So they basically made it to where you cannot turn off tooltips on the tutorial if you already or if you do not have a level 65 character. So I have a 65 character. A lot of you guys watching might also, and if you roll another one, you can still turn off those tooltips, but if you're completely brand new to the game, it won't let you turn those off. So the game's complicated. There's a lot of UI. There's a lot of different things to click on, and it doesn't do a great job at going through all of that, but now it's going to not let you choose not to even look at what they do give you. So I think that's probably a good thing, especially for new players. We still have a couple known issues. One of these is kind of big one. So there's a known issue causing T6X upgrades to be removed from ships that are pulled from dry dock. Hopefully, I haven't ran into this myself. I don't dry dock and undry dock stuff a lot. Hopefully when you pull it out of dry dock, you could still just go to the ship vendor and apply it there. If it pulls it completely and you have to rebuy it, don't rebuy it, because they'll either fix or compensate you for that, I'm sure. But I'm not sure what the actual effect is. So there's some ships are there. If you apply this upgrade to a ship, say on one character, and you go to another character and you claim that same ship, you'll have basically a free upgrade built into the ship. So hopefully when you pulled it out of dry dock, that kind of functionality was there, so you could at least make it a tier 6X again without having to buy or use another coupon. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you ran into this problem. Is that the case? Is it, where you just have to reapply the upgrade and it's already baked in? Or is it just completely wiping it like it never existed? So I'm not real sure. And then lastly, there's a known issue preventing the holographic Geordi LaForge bridge officer from being commissioned on Romulan and Jem'Hadar captains aligned with the Federation. So for me, low on the list, but it's still a problem. And if you were really looking forward to having Geordi on your team and you are a Romulan or a Jem'Hadar, you are going to have to wait until they fix that. So again, this won't be a regular thing going through the patch notes, but I thought it was important to kind of highlight this. How big this patch is. This speaks to the kind of problems that they're having. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for it. It sucks what's been happening over the last week or so. I want to be able to play the game and not have the rubber banding and all those things. I didn't see anything in here specific to that. So I hope that that's something that that they have addressed it and it's just not listed, or if there were things that were in here that were also causing it, I don't know. Or maybe the shutdown this morning had to do with, I don't know, take your pick on a technical term. Again, I'm not a programmer or systems, admin or any of that kind of thing. So hopefully whatever they were doing this morning, is going to take care of that lag problem, that rubber banding, because it's a huge issue. So let me know what you guys think. Keep it civil. Like I said, I know there's been problems, and I'm right there with you. So hopefully this stuff, what they did this morning and with this upcoming patch for tomorrow morning, hopefully that takes care of these issues that we've been having. If it does, if it takes care of the rubber banding and everything they listed here, then all the major kind of things, at least that's up in the forefront now, will be fixed, except for these couple known issues. So all right, guys, that does it for the update. Hopefully the lag and rubber banding will not be real tomorrow. But as of right now, it is. So till next time, guys, have a good one. Appreciate you watching. Hey, guys, appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, ring the bell, and sub to the channel for the latest news updates and how-to guides.